All right. Well, let's jump right on over and start with LAFC versus Seattle. LAFC got through Vancouver 2-1, winning both at home by a very slim margin, while Seattle bested Houston in two, both on PKs to a Houston side that struggled to even keep 11 players on the pitch. LAFC 3 goals for, 4 goals against. Seattle scored one, conceded one. Roldan leads the Sounders with 2 goals, both a goal for and a goal against. He has an own goal to his name as well. Buanga, Bogusz, Oliveira have a goal apiece, and LAFC have 2 own goals of their own. Seattle couldn't break down a low block when the Dynamo went down to 10. LAFC struggled to score against Vancouver, and when they got exposed, Vancouver picked them apart. So why don't you give me your thoughts? Give me a little bit of a preview prediction. What are you thinking about this one?
I said it at when we recapped the first round. I didn't feel super convinced by LAFC's first round. I didn't feel like they were an unstoppable force. Not that any team is unstoppable. Every team can be beat, but I feel like LAFC in past years has felt like that unstoppable force. And it didn't feel like that from the first round matchup. They felt susceptible, they felt beatable. And as much as Denny Buwanga is an incredible player and Bogusz has had a really strong season, I think if you find a way to kind of keep them at bay, which is obviously easier said than done, but if you find a way to keep those two at bay, you're really giving yourself a shot. Still not a guarantee though, because LAFC have a very strong defense as well. They had a good defensive season this year, but there was one team that had a better defensive season, and that was Seattle. Very strong year defensively, and if you're talking about being able to contain Bogusz and Buanga, I think Seattle has the ability to do so. So I think this is going to be a defensive slug. I think it's going to be a really tight game. In the regular season this year, LAFC did win both games against Seattle, but playoffs change everything. And I'm only saying it for this case. I am going to go with a 1-1 tie with Seattle winning 5-4 in penalties.
Wow, the precision.
Yep.
Goodness me.
Yep. Yep.
I think I agree with you on a lot of what you said, which sucks. I hate agreeing with you. I think this is going to be a great chess match, right? You got LAFC who like to bunker in and counter with their explosive players up top. Seattle don't score a lot, and they struggle to break down a team like the Dynamo who bunkered in with 10 men. Um, both teams have scored own goals. LAFC have 2 of them. LAFC likes playing a 3-4-3. Seattle like that 4-2-3-1. One of the best attacks versus one of the best defenses. I agree with you that I think Seattle has the best chance to contain the likes of Buanga and Bogusz and Oliveira and Vela off the bench and Giroud off the bench and all of these things. But I do think I'm giving the advantage to LAFC. Seattle played a combined 60 minutes up a man in the series against Houston. And not only did they not score, or not only did they only score once, but they also conceded an own goal while up a man. Vancouver blitzed LAFC on the road, but they were very, very dominant at home, winning both legs, combined 3-1 scoreline. The front three that they have is dangerous. I'm not terribly nervous about Seattle's attack. Um, Unbelievably, if you told me that this was going to be the case at the beginning of the season, I would have laughed at you. But I think LAFC is the deeper of the two teams. I think over the 90 minutes at home, I think they outclass Seattle and I think they win. I do agree it'll be close. It'll be a defensive match, but I think a moment of brilliance from somebody like Buanga or Bogusz is going to set them apart from Seattle. So there you have it. You want to just recap it one more time? You've got who?
I've got Seattle 5-4 in penalties.
And I've got LAFC. I don't have a score, but I've got them in regulation.